Hey, what's up guys, Wallen Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is Robin vs. Raphael 2-pack, only at GameStop. Looks pretty cool. Here is the outside of the package. On the side, nothing really. On the back, you see everyone else you can actually collect. Alright, so here they are out of the box. Now, out of the two packs of the Batman and Leo and these two right here, I had to say this is the one I like more, to be honest. And we'll get into that right now. But here they are, side by side. Fantastic duo right there. Alright, so first off, we're going to start with Robin right here. Robin. He looks pretty cool. I like how he looks overall. We get to more details. But first off, let's take a look at his accessories, because he comes with a lot. Alright, so here are Robin's accessories. And he has a lot of accessories, to be honest. So he has the manhole cover right here, which is pretty nice. It does say Gotham City on it as well, which is pretty cool too. He comes with his staff right here. Two parts of the staff. So one of it is actually elongated, which is nice. The other one is actually folded in. So when he's not using it, it's actually smaller, which is pretty cool. Pizza, of course. He does come with the same, very similar accessories as Batman, as in his batarangs, the grappling hook, the two ends for the grappling hook, but they're a lot smaller compared to Batman's, which is kind of funny. It's like the kid size, basically. 3 sets of hands, including the ones he has on him right now, and this little Batman thing. I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest. I thought it was one of those things where Batman attached to one of the turtles, and there was like a grappling hook or something like that, or like blasters, or it could be a communicator. I have no idea, but I forgot what it was. But it looks cool. Now Robin is a lot smaller, so remember you have to be really fragile with a smaller body like this. So if you want to really put the accessories on him, let's start with the hands. So taking the hands out, really tiny, very small peg holes, very small pegs. So just be really careful. So with his staff, let's take a look at that. He has the gripping hand right here, and it looks to be a little bit wider than I would like, but we'll see what fits in it. Putting it in, no problems there. I'm pretty sure he can hold the grappling hook of this. Maybe not, actually. Jeez. I don't think it could actually fit. Barely fits. It's a lot bigger than his hand. And this is the biggest gripping hand, because the other one is a little tiny one, like this. I have no idea what could actually fit in there. So, let's see what can go in there. Let's take a staff. We'll take the small one first. See, the staff fits in there, but to be honest, it's not the greatest. Falls right out, actually. Interesting. The bigger one goes at his hand. Doesn't really stay. Interesting. Maybe it's really meant to hold with 2 hands. We'll get to that later, though. The grappling, let's see this. The batarang, that fits in a little better. Right there. Still falls out. This is interesting. I'm really interested because, like, the other hand, literally, look how small this is. I literally don't know. I guess you could do this one. That could work. Like that. But he can literally hold nothing. Definitely not the staff. It's not going in there. So he does have a lot of accessories, but you can't really hold them. So that's not good. To be honest, I've had these figures for like a week, but I haven't actually played around with the accessories that much. I also want to point out, I forgot, that he comes with a different head. I don't know which one is better. To be honest, they all look pretty good, in my opinion. I do like the fact that he has the spiky hair and no hood over here, which the hood is on his back right there. But you could take this off, ball joint the head on top, take this out, and you can. It's a really long stem right here, as you can see, but it's pretty good still. And now you have hooded Damien right there. Now that one looks a little more menacing looking, not as inviting. To your own opinion, which one you like better? I think the other one looks better overall, though. Stick this back on. Yeah. Alright, so taking a look at Robin up close and personal, like I said before, I like how he looks. He looks pretty cartoon accurate, if you want to say that. The hair, zoom in a little more. The hair looks pretty good. You see a lot of different creases in it, a lot of different sculpting, which is nice right there. A little bit of a paint splotch right there on his mask on my figure. You see it's green on the skin tone right there. But overall, still looks pretty good and pretty decent. Going down to the body, nice red, very nice red. Going down to the cape in the back. Overall, looks pretty good. It's just, like I said, it's a small, skinny figure. Most of the Robins are. I'll do a size comparison at the end of him of other Robins. But overall, they executed it pretty well and nicely. And there's his boots. Going to articulation, he saw it before. He has a bulge in the head. Doesn't go up and down that much, to be honest. It could be a lot better. Left and right, pretty decent. A little bit of a pivot, which is pretty good though. So you have that at least. The shoulders on hinge joints are rotate up, which is about that far. They go all the way around. A little bit hindered by the cape, but not that bad overall. No bicep swivel. At the elbow, it does rotate up like that. Just about 90 degrees, but also rotates left and right, which is pretty good right there. And the wrist is on a hinge and also a ball joint, so you have a lot of movement right there, which is pretty nice. Now going to the body right here, he does have a ball joint. Doesn't go forward that much. Goes back a little bit better. Right there. He does have a little bit of a gap like Batman, but not as bad, so it's pretty good. Left and right, no problems there. Pivots a little bit as well, so you do have some movement. Not the greatest, but it's a little bit there. The waist swivel, he does have a waist swivel. It's not as bad as Batman's where it just popped right off. Going down to the lower body, he has T-jointed hips. Not good, to be honest. It could be a little bit better. He does have a little bit of a hindrance on the outfit over here. It is a little bit softer, but overall, you go about that high. Split wise, still also not the greatest because the clothing over here does hinder it a lot. He does have a little bit of a thigh swivel due to the ball joint right there. Knees, double jointed knees. Be careful with these. You can do that, but like I said before, if you can't bring up the knee, it's pretty much useless. You might even want to make a little bit of a slit right here on this side to help it out, but it's up to you. Then going down to the feet right here, he does have a hinge right there, which is pretty nice. Good hinge movement. And there is a ball joint in there for a pivot, which is pretty nice. Size comparison time. So here he is with some other Robins from other collections. So this is the DC Icons one. This is also DC Multiverse, if you want to call it that. Overall, the height isn't that bad. Definitely has a different look because he's more animated, but he's not as short as the DC Icons one is right there. Actually, to be honest, as good as DC Icons is, I think this one has better articulation and also better movement a little bit. But yeah, it's really is give and take for both of them. But overall, here they are side by side. And next up right here, here he is with Batman. And for the hell of it, I'm going to throw in some other Batman figures for a size comparison to see if you want to mix and match him. He does have a bigger head, obviously, because you know he's Robin and also he's animated. But if you want to mix and match him with some other ones, maybe might work. Alright, next up right here we have Rath. In my opinion, the star of the show. I think he is the best figure out of all four, but that's my opinion. But first off, let's take a look at his accessories. Alright, so taking a look at accessories, he does have an alternative head right here. He's wearing a helmet and also has a meaner face, which is pretty nice. 3 sets of hands, including the ones on him right now. We'll get more into that later. 1 slice of pizza, and of course he comes with his signature size. Alright, so going to accessories right now. If you want to take off the head, you pop it off like that, and take the new one, and you want to pop it in like that. And yeah, he has a bit of a point on the top of the helmet. It actually is really soft. It's not hard, so you don't have to worry about hurting your hand or anything like that, sticking the head on. But there he is with the new head sculpt. Not bad. Pretty good overall. Not my favorite, but it's nice to have the alternative if you want that. Now, Rath does come with 2 different hands right here. One is an open hand, as you can see, like right here. The other one is a gripping hand. And the gripping hand is actually really interesting because not only does he use his hand to hold his size, but there is a little bit of a peg hole right there. And the general idea is that you stick the size in so you can hold it between his fingers, like that. The difficult part, though, is actually getting the size over the thumb. Now, these hands and fingers don't have a lot of give. They're pretty hard. So you're going to be really careful how you want to do that. I will try to do it off camera, but just by looking at it right now, just getting it over that thumb could be some trouble. But if you want to switch up the hands, you just pop off the hands at the peg over here, which is pretty easy. And let's take one hand right there and stick it in just like that. And now you can have his size in his hand. Just like Leo, I believe going head first is probably a lot easier overall. Be careful, a lot of paint rub on these guys. The paint does come off overall too, so just be careful of how many times you want to do that. But overall, he holds the size really well and shouldn't have any problems right there. Now, if you want to store his size, I like the fact that you actually stick it on the back, which is pretty cool. You do it sideways as well. So you stick it in like this. A little bit different, which is I like a lot too. But it does stick out a little bit, as you can see, on the side right there. But I think it's still a pretty cool idea overall. I was never a big fan of having it in the front over here. So I think it would be probably easier overall just grabbing it like this and just pulling it out. You know, for function, obviously, but still was pretty cool how they did that. Alright, so taking a look at this figure up close and personal, he looks fantastic. Very accurate to the movie overall. He does have a little bit of a scar on his face right there near his eye, which is pretty nice. The bandana looks pretty nice. Like I said before, for Leo, I like how they're nice and long. It does give some nice color to the figure overall. And yeah, overall, the head sculpt looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Going down to the rest of the body, very standard, just like Leo. Not that much detail, but what sells this for me is the size. He's humongous, which I like a lot. Really big, really nice, very menacing looking as well. If we see over here, just like Leo, the design in front of their belts kind of represents their letter. So that's an R right there, which is pretty nice. I do like the fact that his is not colored in like Leo's. I think if they all did that, it would look kind of corny, especially with Rath, who's more serious. I like the fact that he doesn't have that on him. Going back right here, big turtle shell, very nice. He does have some knee pads and shoulder pads as well on this guy. So he looks really nice, big, menacing. Overall, looks fantastic. And one thing I wanted to point out really quickly that I was talking about in the Leo review compared to the Rebel Techs right here, I do wish that Leo had more like straps or bandages on him like this one did. But he doesn't have any. I don't think he had it in the movie as well. I could be wrong. But at least Rath actually has some straps on him too, so that's pretty nice. I would like it on his feet as well, but it is what it is, so it's fine. Alright, so going to articulation really quickly. He has a ball joint ahead. It goes up and down, not that much though. Left and right, no problems there. Pivots, not that much either, which is kind of a shame, but you could move it around a little bit. Like going on the shoulder right here, he has a hinge joint that rotates. It goes all the way up that much, all the way around, no problems there, which is nice. No bicep swivel, but at the elbow, it does go up about that much, but rotates left and right, so that's pretty good too. And at the wrist right here, he does have a hinge and a ball joint, so you have a lot of movement, which is pretty nice. Alright, so getting to the ball joint right here in the middle, he does have a ball joint in there, just like I said for the Leo review. This one's a little bit better though, I think because he's a bigger figure also, but it does have the same cons to it overall, disadvantages, because like I said before in the Leo review, the turtle shell in the back and also the front are soft material, which is nice, right? But they're connected to the upper part of the body, and they extend all the way down here, right? And you have the belt right here that pretty much holds it all together, I guess. But overall, it could move. Like even the Leo one, I can't really get it to move that much, but this one moves a little bit, but it gets hindered anyway by the shell or the front part right here. So that's all you really get. It just pretty much rocks left and right, and not that much either. And going forward, barely. I think I'm actually moving the hip joint more than anything like that. But yeah, you do have it there, but it's severely hindered that you can't really get that much articulation out of it. Going down to the lower body right now, he has T-jointed hips. They're on ball joints right there. Going up is actually a little bit better, a lot better than Leo's. Almost 90 degrees, a little bit on the angle, but a lot better. It could go up a lot higher, which is pretty nice. There's a thigh swivel, if you want to call it that, but it's more on the ball joint, so it can rotate a little bit left and right. Bring it up. I think overall, like, the joints on this are a lot better than Leo's because he's a bigger figure, I think. And all the joints are a lot bigger, so they're easier to move, which I like a lot overall. So he does have a little better articulation, in my opinion, compared to Leo. And everything moves pretty nicely. Like Leo, I was scared because everything was kind of stuck. so I had to heat it up a little bit. But with this guy, no problems really. It's still pretty good. Double jointed knees, but that's all as far as it goes. It's a thicker figure, but everything moves range-wise a lot better in my opinion. At the ankle, he does have a hinge over there, which is nice, and also a ball joint for a pivot, so that's pretty good. Size comparison time, so here they are side by side, Leo and Rath. I love the size of these guys, nice and big. Here they are with the Revoltech counterparts, just for a size comparison overall. And one of my biggest pet peeves is that Rath from the Revoltech series was just a little bit too small for my liking. I love how big Rath is right here. And here they are, side by side. And for another size comparison, here he is with the rest of the group from the 2 packs that we have right now. We got Batman, Leo, and Robin right there. Alright, so overall, I like this figure a lot. He looks so menacing. He's huge. He legit looks like the muscle of the group, which I like a lot. But as a figure himself, you know, being unbiased, he still is a good figure. Articulation-wise, these shoulders are really good. I always said that with the Leo figure as well. You could bring in the arms as well, which is pretty nice and good to see right there. The lower body could be a little bit better, but it has a lot going against it. It still is pretty good. A lot better range and motion than Leo's. Definitely bring the legs up a lot better and more smooth, which is nice as well. Yeah, so overall I'm really happy with this figure. And this definitely is going to be the one that I collect and keep in my collection. I don't know about the other ones, but this one is definitely staying in my collection right there. And what I'm going to do actually is pair him up with my Revoltech ones and switch out the Rath one from there. Because, you know, just like I said before, in different incarnations of turtles, they all don't look alike, they're all different sizes. You know, so I think you could honestly mix and match these. And they look pretty good overall. And legit now, he looks like the muscle of the group. And everyone has their own good points of being in the group. Smartest, best overall, leader, goofy one, and he had the serious muscle right there. I think it looks pretty good. I might keep it like this overall. And yeah, just going back to this 2-pack, I think Rath and Robin are probably the best. Robin looks pretty good. He looks pretty decent. You know, I didn't like the fact that his accessories didn't really hold that well in his hands, which is kind of a bummer because he has so many accessories, but you can't really keep it in his hands, so I'm gonna have to work on that. But overall, Robin is still pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it, guys. What do you guys think about these figures? And I like the height, like I said before, of Rath. It looks pretty good. You know, these guys are teenagers, remember. They are teenagers. So some might not be the tallest overall, some might be bigger than others. That's how it is when you're growing up. Like we have Morales right here. He's a teenager as well, right? I don't know how tall he is. Miss Marvel, another teenager, not the tallest as well. So they're all teens, everyone's taller, everyone's shorter, who knows. Sometimes teens are different sizes when you're growing up, right? Alright, that's about it, guys. I hope this video was helpful. And like I said before, Raph is definitely my favorite. Keeping him with my Revoltechs. And I brought this point up. If you guys didn't watch my other review, I brought this point up with the Leo and Batman figure. And I want you guys to think about this as well. A lot of us have our own collection. But a lot of us, and you have to be honest with yourself, a lot of us also have a bunch of figures that go into bins or they go into storage and we never see again. And I'm actually at a point in my life where, you know, I look at new things coming out, especially with, you know, Hasbro and all these different toy companies popping out figures left and right. It's hard to keep up. You have to be honest with yourself and think about it. You get a new figure, right? Where do I see this figure ending up in the next week or month? Is it going to be on display, which is great? Or is it actually going to be like, oh, you know, I was hyped about it when I first got it, now I don't care about it. It's going in it's going in the bin. It's going to storage. So that's how I felt like with the Batman and Leo figure. I wasn't that, you know, I was hyped when they came out. I definitely wanted them. But now that I have them, I'm a little iffy about them. Raph, on the other hand, he's staying in my collection. He's going to be displayed, definitely with the rest of the group. But with Batman and Leo, I was a little bit iffy about them. And I'm going to try to return them, actually. So, just something to think about, you know, these figures are expensive, 50 bucks. You know, if you had the deal, you get a little cheaper, but you know, you can't be throwing around money like that. So just think about that little thing I wanted to add in the end. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope this video was helpful. And like always, comment, criticize, subscribe. Do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!